Today is July 24th, 2026. Today, we had a luncheon, okay, with Carl's friend. Met him up in Hartville. And do you think they could leave me alone? No. No. We get out of my car. Now, I appreciate the other two girls that were walking to the car. We all found out that agent and his girlfriend thought they could steal a bunch of money and they pulled this big scam here. Okay. And then as we go to walk in, there's two guys coming in about the same time we are. Agent John told us to keep an eye on her. Or that idiot in the VA was admitting Dave was part of it and it was in the house. He had it set up that it was a doctor from before. I'm to keep an eye on her. Oh, guess what I did? Poor Carl's friend. Went on about that agent stealing money. It's his girlfriend. How he told on me. How I called the recorded line. How he, before, and they were supposed to have one call me back, how he went to Apostolic Church of Barberton. Told everybody he knew I was being drugged, beaten, raped, and didn't care. Because some idiot called me a faker when it was medical malpractice, medication errors that almost killed me. Took me 9 months to get well. Okay? And then the most damning evidence on him that he was part of this whole thing, recorded line when I call him back. How I tell him somebody told on me, calls me a liar, tell him about some guy threatening to knife me, he's calling me a liar. I tell him about this one guy that tried to kidnap me before, and then he goes off on how he had all those church people in the office. And he knew they were trying to kill me because of a 15-year-old baby lie that a minister made up when he thought I was following his son. It was my sister following her husband. Called me a faker through a 4 or 5 year ordeal. And he didn't even blame him for trying to kill me at one point. Then, what is damning? When he said, well, we could always use Pete's tapes of Weird with Yourself. And I went, what are you talking about? I don't even know who you're talking about. Says something else. I don't know who this is. He knew that. Why? When you find out who Pete is, Pete is his prostitute girlfriend's father. And then he said, and I said, I don't even know who or what you're talking about. Then he said, well, I bet you're going to say you don't know anything about this doctor for sexual disorders or one of your brother. At that point, I had to catch my breath because I wanted to yell, why don't you stop lying? Okay. And then I caught my breath and I thought, why had that other lady run up a bunch of medical bills in my name? Maybe it's one of hers. When you find out who the doctor from before is, it's his girlfriend's dad. That's why it was so funny when Henry Moffey, which is supposed to be that Pete guy, which is supposed to be his girlfriend's dad, that's a prostitute, admitted he never met me in person. And he's supposed to be the doctor from before. Get it? It's him, his prostitute girlfriend, that admitted June 26, 26, that they hired drug dealers to be in my home and to do this. And the drug dealers taped her in the shower washing herself. Photoshopped that in the other room to make her look weird with herself. They were making fun of her. Ho, 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 ho. Dutch Valley restaurant in front of the sheriff's. and how they're stealing all for her, and how she's stalking me in my apartment. Okay? That's how not funny it is. All right. He helped plan out the whole scam. And see, that's where these people run around. The police give permission for people to break in people's homes, set up button cameras. No, they don't. What's a jail sentence for the police? Or an FBI agent? 5 to 20 years. It's a right of privacy. President Nixon couldn't park an office. Okay. You know, where they have confessed that where those guys that said they work for the drug lord and then other people, that drug lord that's doing it, it's the Fentanyl King, the king from Texas. Okay. He gave that prostitute to that agent to date to persuade him into opening a fraud case. So to get thrown out and the drug dealers arrested, could get sued for false arrest under fraud. Okay. Now these people, all right, these people confessed in 18 in front of the cops. We had bruises before, throwing up and infected. It was us. We were drug beaten, raping it. We had drugged you and told you to say this. We had drugged you, told you to say that. They photoshopped all their lies, erased people out of the room. They're big con, laughing at me in front of the cops and feds. You know, all these different drug cartels showed up to help pull off the scam. Because they're planning on making billions of dollars off false arrest under fraud. Okay? The investigators around me, we need to get a court order to surveillance these people. You have to have a court order. Or otherwise, it's a felony invasion of privacy, illegal monitoring, cyber stalking, try to get money, and sextortion, voyeurism. And you know what they said? We don't have to get a court order. We already got hers. They're using these people to hurt her. We can get them hurting her and part of it, and then we can use that surveillance and then start going after them. We'll just use her court order since they're using them to hurt her. See, that agent knows that. And the multitude of drug dealers that led from information that were all caught on my case. See, my case, the surveillance is gold. It's everything. Like they said, the way it's set up, they don't even need her. It is a threat and attempt to life case for an FBI informant with statements, money, and immunity. Okay? And with it being a protected custody case with statements and a court order, the sheriffs and the FBI are taping with a court order. We can use the surveillance without her. We don't need her. We just needed that court order to be around her. Okay? In 21, these people restarted their scam. Drug dealers showed up laughing in Louisville. They seen the men that work for the king from Texas. People would say in 19, why would a king have his men watch her? I was their big con, that's why. She doesn't even have nice enough clothes to meet a king. Judge Peter's group from Florida were there. Everybody's seen them. Okay. All right. Breaking their crimes. Okay, selling the log into the case. And they're admitting how they put clips together, made a porn. It's not her, it's them. Then the shower scene in the other room. And they're back to drugs and told to say it. 8/9/21. The apartment building before me, second or third to the fence. I used to live on North Chapel, okay? In the building before that. So a lady and little girls live there. They come out and they said, well, Dave was actually part of drugging her and telling her to say it before. We all know that. He was part of it. 4 or 5 neighbors got together, did a police report. An officer showed up with a badge around his neck and a clipboard. Okay? And you could hear him down the way how Dave was part of having me drugged and told to say it before. They all knew. Those drug dealers were bragging it. Some little old lady on Fairland Street screamed at him when they told her. How not funny that was. And she's screaming at him. Okay? The heavyset Michelle and Lauren, Memorial Day weekend of 21, I am sitting on the front porch of a client's, and I'm watching her drive by. The goons from Ravenna are at the end of the street. She's yelling at him till it's echoing up the street. Are you crazy? You can't enter a drug confession. Well, we just found out they drugged her and told her what to say before. Bullshit. So where that idiot was following me for Agent John today, they had it all set up that a doctor before did it. And that idiot down at the VA admitted it was Dave. Well, so did the cartel. Get the idea. So did Dave. So did the cartel that it was Dave. Was part of it. And when I confront him, after Thanksgiving of 18, I've never heard anyone. He said, Karen, you're good to the kids, you're good to the grandkids. You would never hurt anyone. You're good to everyone, no matter who it is. I expected him. So I wouldn't know he was part of it. Asshole. Asshole. So we were at the VA on Tuesday. We go to leave the VA in Canton. Some guy's behind the door. I'm trying to steal everything for that family. Couldn't believe she was sitting there talking to Dave as casual as can be. No emotions whatsoever. Well, you shouldn't drug somebody, get them stoned and tell them to say so. It's wrong to roofie people. She had no emotions when she was talking. Why? Because you fucking drugged me. Like the investigator said, you could tell she was drugged when they drugged her and told her to say it before. It's a bitch move. This whole thing, like people said, is a bitch move. Drugging somebody up and they don't even know you're there. Tell them to say something horrible and beat and rape them under drugs and they don't even know who did it and they got in their home. Photoshop washing in the shower in the other room. Done by drug dealers. And mean games that pretend they laughing about later on. The whole thing's a bitch move. Now, think about this. For that idiot that was there for Agent John to watch me, stop stalking me, idiot. I would very much, if I was you, disassociate yourself from Agent John. because like the Stark County sheriffs told Tuscarawas County, they thought that agent was acting that way to get the drug dealers. Until he showed up down there trying to get the case thrown out. And he stole all kinds of money in front of them, and they thought it was an act. And here he has stolen all that money. If I was you, I would stay clear of Agent John. Because he's looking at life in federal, and you don't want to go to jail as an accessory. To grand theft from the FBI for the amount of about $10,500,000. Or more. Selling government technology to the cartels. Get the idea. I would very much disassociate yourself from him. So I am so pissed. The last few days, I mean, here on the 22nd, July 22nd, 2026, we're in Myers in Alliance. People were, within the last few months, those people showed up and said, Melissa had those drug dealers they hired. Drug her and tell her to say that. When she went for full custody of the kids, she wanted to make sure she couldn't help John. She didn't want a person like her raising her kids. And big guy came up, Officer Mark Gate made a big mistake, let Melissa go. So where Myers and Alliance, there's people in there. Nobody will say a word to you. Ever since we heard those people admit Melissa, those drug dealers they hired, Melissa had them was part of having them drug you up until you say that so you couldn't help John. When she went for full custody, because she didn't want a person like you raising her kids. We go over to Bob Evans. This is the 22nd, July 22nd, 26. People come in and sit behind me. There's a guy over in the distance, he's complaining. He said, I never want to talk or see to Melissa ever again. Her running around all distraught. He said, I was here the other day, July 8th, 26, it happened, Walmart and Alliance. He said when that one guy said he made her live through complete horror, a person like her. I didn't find it funny. And then where those other people admitted, today, in Myers, I heard them. That when Melissa was part of having those drug dealers drug her up and tell her to say that. So she couldn't help John. Because she didn't want a person like her raising her kids. Some guy came up to me and told me they were keeping her so drugged up there, she wasn't putting thoughts together to put together what was happening. I never want to see her or speak to her again. You tell everyone you know not to say a word to her again. Well, those people sit down and they're like banging in the back of the people come in and sit behind us. And they're saying, they're sitting there and they're like banging into the back a little bit, bumping us. Don't mess with me. So with Audrey, Carl's daughter, we start going over hypnotic drugs. Okay? She's watched TV things on the cartel. Hypnotic drugs is their drug of choice to drug people up. It causes sleepwalking with amnesia. You can walk, talk, drive a car, have sex. You'll never remember nothing. You're chemically sleepwalking. Okay? And that they load up syringes, go to big parties, race, walk around and walk by and jab people. The ones they want to take, wait a minute or two where they're looking around, see what bit them, stung them. Wait a minute or two, go back to leave with them willingly. That way they don't fight them. And that she had seen on that they showed how much they can control people with these drugs. They had a willing guy to go through it. Had him drug him, waited for it to take effect, told him to go over to his bank, empty his account. Okay? He come back with them. They said they taped him the whole time. Taped him talking to the people. He was a hair off. A hair. And they knew he was drugged, so they could tell. But he was a hair off in his response. Brought back the money. When it wore off, he said, "What happened?" No memory. Just like the U.S. Marshals kid. She went to Jersey's. She took a drink, threw and went dizzy and black. Don't know what happened to her whole night. Waited a while, went to another bar. Same thing happened, ended up in the hospital. Didn't even know how she got in the hospital. Just like my neighbor Mike. I couldn't handle all these people making fun of me for being harmed. And these people sold the login to the case in 18. And even as little as 5-year-olds have the rape and torture and came up and said stuff. Okay? So I used to smoke, so I went and sit there and cry and choke up my tears and vomit. Okay? But I didn't like the smell of smoke in my house. So I'd step outside my apartment and smoke outside. My neighbor Mike came up to me and said, "I got a problem. I don't know how I got home." I said, "What do you remember? The second beer? Go sleep it off." He said, "I've been sitting there for hours. I don't even know how I got here." And he said, "I got a worse problem. I got money in my pocket. I don't know where it came from." Well, that's a big red flag. Check your bank. He did what I told him to. He said, "That explains the money. What was in the box with mustard? And how did I change my shoes?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, somebody's roofied him. He's lost the whole night." I'm like, "Go sleep it off." He said, "I used to be a New York cop, and you're pretty. You want to go cuddle?" I thought, dear God, he's stoned out of his mind. Go sleep it off. He didn't even remember talking to me. He went down to that bar, they said, in the middle of the second beer. He told people he was an astronaut. He was flying high, okay. Nice to other ones, swore at other ones, left, and apparently took himself out with no memory. My co-worker, Dar, had a set of twins. One died. Her friends took her out because she's grieving so hard. Crying at the bar. They gave her some space. They looked over. She had ordered a drink. She took a drink and acted a little happy. She don't remember anything else. They said a group of people came up. They didn't know. She's talking, acting fine. Didn't think anything of it. Left with them. She found herself in a bottle of pee. Got herself home. She was throwing up really sick because that stuff makes you very sick when it wears off. And 2 months later, she went to the doctor. She found out she was pregnant again. And she's arguing with the doctor. "I've not had sex with anybody. How could I be pregnant?" She said, "It's not that I don't love my son, but I don't know what happened to me." So where these people laugh at me, they hire drug dealers to do this stuff to me. Drug me up and tell me, say horrible stuff. That Dave was involved. See, they mentioned that years ago. Years ago. And when I confront him, he totally defends me. I taped him, of course. So the police and FBI. So where that idiot walked in saying that shit, better get your facts straight. Because all the police know Dave defended me. And all the police know the cartel was saying Dave was involved. And they were already admitting that they did it in my house before. Not a doctor from before. See, they keep changing it. And changing it. When the case first started, they said, a retired Judge Pete, friends with Ludick, let him get away with crimes, did it. Nobody can say a word because he's a retired judge. He's above the law. Then it was an attorney's office. Then it was a doctor. And in between that, people are coming out and saying it was Dave with those drug dealers. It was part of it. And the drug dealers are saying Dave was part of it. Now, I want you to think, April 6, 25. We go over to Danny and Jen's. Dixie and the girls are there. Danny's house is real small. Dixie stands up when we sit down. Walks into the kitchen. Nobody thinks it's funny she married that old man. Said, Melissa said, there's a lady investigator going to stort all kinds of money out of the government for me and Melissa. Jen's like, we want nothing to do with it. She said, that lady investigator said, even though I gave her permission on tape to tape me, of knowing on Melissa's mean games to pretend the kids were laughing about, and of Dave breaking out the gunshot night, even though I gave her permission of knowing that, to let her tape me, I could still sue the government for millions of dollars. Jen's like, we want nothing to do with it. She said, a lady investigator showed up, asked me if I knew about the tapes before. I told her we didn't know anything about it. We won't have anything to do with it. Asked if we knew of a tape of Weird with herself. Said we didn't know anything about it. We won't have anything to do with it. I told her she had giant bruises all over, throwing up and almost passing out in front of people. And I seen her like that, and I didn't put it together what was going on up there. And now I realize it. And she said, that doesn't mean anything. She said, oh, yeah, it does. Said, well, Melissa said that the chief of police up there gives special permission to people to break in other people's homes. No, we don't. Break in and do stuff to them, like beat and rape them, drug them up and tell them to say stuff, and beat and rape them under drugs so they don't know what happened to them. No, we don't. Which the way they described it made total sense. It's like, oh my God, everybody leave the dumb girl alone. Said Melissa said that poor Dave, poor Dave, had to sit in the basement and listen to her have wild sex with other men. I thought, what men? What wild sex? What are you talking about? The black and blue marks, the swollen personal area, throwing up. I had 3 weird memories. I thought they were nightmares. And then when you come out of it and you're still in your bed and there's no one around, sound of footsteps. One time I dreamed I woke up and a syringe was coming at me and the room went dark. And then not being able to see, breathe, screaming on top of my lungs. All I can hear is the wails of my screams till they're echoing in my head and every part of my body in pain. When I woke up, I couldn't breathe, but then I had bruises all over me. I thought I had cancer. I thought the dirty well water was killing me. Now, if you realized you were being drug beat, right? And he sat in the basement and listened to that. The agent should have shot him. What kind of monster from hell? And she's going to say, poor Dave, and say she was part of hiring them. Get the idea. See, that's weird. Those guys in Bob Evans that said that they didn't ever want to see her talk to Melissa again. I heard that's the only 3 memories she had of anything, and she thought they were nightmares. And coming and waking up with bruises all over her, throwing up, and never see her talk to anybody. And Melissa was part of that. Some guy came up and said they were keeping her so drugged up, she kept her loopy so she couldn't put thoughts together. Realize what was happening up there. They kept her that drugged up, and she was part of that. I never want to speak to her again. Her running around acting all upset, and it's just an act. Oh, see, that's where I didn't start putting things up online until 21. I didn't. These people admitted within the first month or 2 of the case they were selling the login. Will selling the login for $25 a pop. It went viral. I went to other states. In 19 they had it. I guess they're sending out in emails. Government technology, a link to it. Okay? They have a link to listening through my phone, the car speakers, my home. It's horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. My horror being people's public entertainment. Real terrorism. And people act like it was a reality show. And it was really happening. Okay? Well, on 21, they showed up and was bragging about the shower scene. And it was a cartel. And that how they drugged me and told me to say it before. Again. And that Dave was involved. And they had mentioned it was in the house when it was done. Okay. I don't understand evil. I have been a victim of the most demonic attack. I have been a victim of it. But I don't understand it. I don't understand allowing pure evil to possess your heart. I don't understand that you can cross that line or you'll burn in hell forever. I don't understand. See, that's where, how many people, if you had a chance to harm or kill somebody, you would get away with it, would you do it? Sick. See, this is where that agent, that recorded line, is his own damning confession of who was involved. And it's his girlfriend's dad. And his girlfriend's a prostitute and he's a drug dealer. And she already confessed they hired drug dealers to do it. She even confessed in front of the sheriffs. See, the 2 guys that said that you want the police and the FBI's attention, say it in Walmart, you work for a drug lord. You want followed around? You'll get in a lot of traffic. 2 guys showed up and said they work for the drug lord. 18. Melissa's willing to help us get away with it. She's willing to have the kids lie. No. Yeah, I talked to her. She's willing to have them say, and they're laughing. Well, the cops and feds want to hear what is. So they follow her. She's friends with Agent John's prostitute. My God. They tell the kids what to say. Caught by the police and FBI. Thanksgiving of 18. They say they want that prostitute to get my house. Then what else they say in the basement? Later on, they were making everything up. They were games of pretend. Sick shit, I found out. When I asked John what's going on, he didn't know. He told Melissa I'd be moving out, going through a divorce. She'd have the kids and the church people make up something, but don't worry about it. Nobody can say anything bad about you. Totally defends me several times. So to clarify everything, I call Dave. I tape him. So is the police and the FBI. Of what on earth? And he said, Karen, he said, you're good to the kids, you're good to the grandkids. You would never hurt anyone. You're good to everyone, no matter who it is. And then he verifies. I hadn't even been around him more than 5 minutes for the whole year, and not alone. See, John and Melissa only usually came over on the holidays. They had big careers, they had their own friends, their own social group. Unless they needed something, they didn't come over. John called all the time, but they didn't come over. We only seen them on the holidays. We seen them with the Christmas with the bikes when Christmas Eve, where we had already dropped them off before that with name tags. Came back on Christmas Eve. They're having a buffet dinner. Our whole family's there. And we go in for a minute, ask them if they like the bikes. Why would we thank you? Another lady in the church bought them. They had name tags on them. Somebody else took my name tags off. Makes fun of Dave for finding pot in the system. We're supposed to be Christians. We're not supposed to do drugs. And back then I didn't even swear, didn't smoke, nothing. Okay? My big vice back then, I wore a necklace. I didn't think a necklace and a bracelet, and I didn't think trimming my hair and putting box color dye on it would put me in hell. Little vanity things to make me feel better. I didn't think a bracelet, a necklace, and some little hair dye would put me in hell. I used to joke until coffee, Diet Coke, and chocolate becomes illegal, I'm good. Okay, so they made fun of Dave for having pot in his system because he got suspended at work. They were saying, didn't you know they were doing pot around you? Da 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 da. He's 16. Of course he did. All right. Then I think in the tape I said March, but it was actually May when we dropped off John's stuff. We were closing on the house. It was last stuff out of the garage. He wouldn't come over and pick it up because he's always busy. We call him, he said, she's leaving me again. Well, they've broke up 10, 20 times over 10 years. Okay? Just tell him don't fight in front of the kids. Try to stay out of everything. It's their lives. They're adults. Okay? Don't say anything. She's leaving me again. We pull in and we can see her packing through the window. And she comes out. Hi, what are you doing here? Kids run out. Hi! And wave at us and run off. Okay? Got John's stuff. Oh, put it against the house. We talk about closing on our new house. We're there maybe 2 minutes and we're gone. I didn't see him again till the 4th. Oh, I take that back. Within a week, we were down at Walmart Maslin. We were buying curtains for our new home. And they come running at us. Now they're real little. Grandma, Papa, what you doing here? Buying curtains. What are you doing? I don't know. Moment time passing each other. Okay? I didn't see him again till the 4th. They're an hour late. They went to a park, lost track of time. We had already ate, did the dishes. Everybody's drinking coffee. They come in, plop themselves down on the couch. I grab my phone, take a picture of everybody while I'm making their plates. Put it on the table. They take 2 bites, yell, pillow fights, put their arms up in the air and run to the basement. The basement, because it was a split level, was a family room. There was a family room, sectional couch, TV, full bathroom, laundry room, puppies. Okay? We go grab, Jen, I throw the food in the refrigerator. Jen and I grab 2 bottles of water and we go outside. Dave grabs his glove and him and John start playing catch. We're sitting on the front porch. Gabe's riding around on his lawnmower, on our new lawnmower. We're talking about our new retirement home. How I could sit on that front porch and look at that giant woods like it's a big screen TV. It's so beautiful out here. Okay? I had worked so hard on that house. And could hear the laughter from the children in the basement. My family enjoying something I worked so hard to finish fixing up. And that day, I was thinking how much I love my family. It was like my heart took a picture of, I'll never forget this. I worked so hard on this place and to finally have everybody enjoy it. And you could hear the giggling and playing from inside Clear House. About 40 minutes later, we got 2 more because we go in, we dish up dessert. And we didn't even get sat down. Dave came in, John left. I said, left? He didn't say goodbye. He left through the garage door. And he said he was in a hurry. He was only stopping in to let the kids see the house. I didn't see him again till the FBI was there. That's where I hadn't been around them for 4 or 5 minutes for the whole year. The 2 or 3 minutes they came in, made their plates, they took literally 2 bites, ran screaming pillow fights. Didn't come back upstairs and I'm outside. The end of the car, passing each other in Walmart. It had been almost a whole year. See, that's where I was talking to Daniel and Tyler. He said, I didn't think about it. They didn't come around except for holidays. They didn't come upstairs. They were downstairs having pillow fights with us. You were outside with everybody else. When you realize you hadn't even been around people lying on you. See, that's where I always said I had more respect for Melissa than she did herself. I thought she was a better person. Okay. May 30th, 25, 1 o'clock in the morning, I hear talking outside our apartment in Louisville. I look out, there's 2 squad cars and a lady standing outside. She said I was going to trick her out of a bunch of money. Found out she knows surveillance laws. Won't be able to trick her out of any money. I'm tricking Dixie and Melissa to put their name on this. And I'm going to arrest them. She won't be around to find a law to stop it. Because everything these people do, I research it. I find a law that stops it. And you can't do that. Okay? Said the investigators found May 26, 25 of Walmart 62 of the cartel, admitting this whole thing is a scam from Bill from the Freemason, including the dirty doctor not being one of hers works for them, and they had lied he was one of her doctors. And the whole thing is a scam. Officer gets out of the vehicle. This whole thing's a scam. She mentioned Bill from the Freemasons. Okay? Said the investigators found the original case. Said that her ex-husband hired 2 men on his own. One was saying he was an attorney, so it made him legal. No, it didn't. Makes it worse illegal. What is a jail sentence for an attorney hired by a husband to set up button cameras stalking his wife in their private home without her knowledge or consent? Disbarment immediately. 5 to 20 years. What is a jail sentence for a police officer or an agent allowing them to break in your home and do that? 5 to 20 years. It's a right of privacy. President Nixon couldn't bug an office. Okay? He couldn't bug an office. Right of privacy. See, that's where the investigators, where after the case started, more and more drug dealers showed up. We need to get a court order to surveillance them. We don't have to. We already got hers. It's a threat and attempt to lie case with statements in a court order to surveillance her. They're using them to hurt her. We'll just use her court order to get them. We'll get them hurting her, and then we'll get them. See that court order for surveillance goes? Thousands of people released, and that agent knows that. Get the idea? I am so tired of that agent and his thieving girlfriend. July 5th, 26. And that's where, I'll tell you what, a couple of days ago where those people were sitting behind me. And Carl and Bob Evans. On the July 22nd, 26th. We're outside the bathroom. I heard those people in Myers. What they said about Melissa. Being out with those drug dealers to drug her up and tell her to say it so she couldn't help John when she went for custody. She didn't want a person like her raising her kids. I heard her that she wrote the White House. Look at all those vehicles driving by. Do you realize who's in them? Yep. It's called help. That lady that's asking everybody if they want to get money out of this, even if they were offended, made a list of people. Tell them that you don't want their money. They're all going to end up in jail. She's tricking them. I can already tell it. With them admitting they were having drug dealers drug her up and tell her to say stuff. That lady's tricking those people. Yeah. And that agent stealing them, oh my God, he was going on and on. I'm going to go ahead and upload this.